Donald Trump just seems to hate every single thing about the federal government here in the United States, which of course makes it even weirder that anybody would actually pick him to, run the federal government, but they did. And Trump seems to hate every bit of it, including his newest target of just an item that he despises and says he's going to get rid of, pennies. Yep, we're getting rid of pennies here in the United States, folks, according to Donald Trump. After he attended the Super Bowl on Sunday evening, Donald Trump got on Truth Social and said this about his latest target. For far too long, the United States has minted pennies, which literally cost us more than 2 cents. Let's rip the waste out of our great nation's budget, even if it's a penny at a time. Now, I'm not exactly sure why suddenly after the Super Bowl, Donald Trump was like, we need to get rid of pennies altogether. I don't know if he went and bought a hot dog at a concession stand and maybe got some pennies as change that were kind of dirty. And he's like, we must get rid of the pennies. This is unacceptable. I don't know what caused it, because that's how Donald Trump's brain works, right? He just has random thoughts coming out of nowhere. And because he has no ability to internalize anything, he just puts those thoughts out into the ether and bam, next thing you know, pennies are abolished. Now, he's not wrong about the cost of making a penny. It's been known for many, 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 many decades that yes, it costs more money to make a penny than a penny is actually worth. The same is actually true of nickels, by the way. So yes, it costs the government more to make a nickel than that nickel adds to the economy. So it is a net loss on pennies and nickels. There's just one problem with getting rid of them, as economists have pointed out over the years. Yes, it'd be great to get rid of them, but we haven't ever done it because it would cause immediate massive inflation. Now, you may be wondering, well, how does that work, right? You're just getting rid of the pennies. Why is that suddenly going to drive prices up? Well, it's simple price math, right? If you go to the store and you see something on the shelf that costs $4.99, well, because you can no longer give 1 penny in change, any price that doesn't end in a 0 or 5 suddenly becomes a change amount for somebody paying in cash that cannot be returned. Therefore, you cannot have any prices that end in anything other than a 0 or a 5. So, if something costs $4.99, do you think that the manufacturer is going to lower it down to $4.95? Or do you think they're going to raise it to $5? Probably going to raise it to $5, I would say 100% of the time. So yes, suddenly the prices of goods go up. But as we have seen with corporations, when they are allowed to raise prices, either due to inflation or due to increased production costs, whatever it is, they don't just raise it by the amount that they need to recoup whatever losses. They always tack on another 10, 15, sometimes 25 or 30%, which of course is what they did when we had that period of super high inflation over the last couple years. They added more on top of that to keep their profits even higher because they saw that people were willing to pay it. So that is what would happen if the pennies and even the nickels were to be phased out. Now, if we did go as far as to get rid of the nickels, then you're looking at even more significant price hikes, because then the only amount of change you would be able to get would be something that, of course, could be done in quarters and dimes. And that becomes even more tricky when you don't have nickels to deal with, right? So, for example, you couldn't give somebody 70 cents in change, because 70 cents would really no longer exist. You could do 75, you could do 85, you could do 65, but you couldn't do 70. So it seems very silly, especially as our economy kind of moves away from a cash and coin basis, but millions of people still use cash and coins. And as long as those people keep using them, phasing them out is going to cause rapid, sudden inflation. So Trump may hate them, but there's really nothing he can do about it. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.